Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today we're doing something a little bit different, right? Let's talk obsession. I'm so fucking enamored with the movie after watching it twice. Like, I'm in love with the story, I'm in love with the concept, I'm in love with the character. So I want to just dive into it because I've literally been just sitting here watching other people's takes and like how they view the story, what they interpreted, how they interpreted the characters, who's the villain, who's the good guy, bad guy, etc. One thing that I haven't been seeing, right? A lot of people haven't been, or actually, I have been seeing it. A lot of people have been talking about Bear, specifically in the light where it's like they're not giving him his fair shake as a character. All right, so I'm not coming to this video that I'm creating as a Bear sympathizer. Obviously, the guy has done wrong. Like, he's done wrong, he's done bad things, but I just feel as though people aren't really understanding the character like I'm understanding the character, like how he went from this guy to that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I want people to understand that those are two different people. Yes, they're the same person, same, you know what I'm saying? That's Bear, but those are two different people. So I broke it down, right? I broke it down into this thing. Let's call it understanding Bear. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the willingness to understand him and not just say, okay, in the movie, he's a horrible guy, bad guy, he's the villain. Like, let's throw that away, because in order for him to truly be a villain, he would have to have villainous intent. You know what I'm saying? His motive from the very beginning from the movie would be him just trying to control Nikki or control somebody, when that was never his intention in the first place. Bear is just he's every guy in the modern, not every guy, but like, let's just say every guy in the modern day setting today, whereas a lot of guys are struggling with confidence, they're struggling with their ability to voice how they feel, voice what they want. You know what I'm saying? If they have feelings, to be able to elaborate on those feelings, to be able to talk to people about those feelings, you know? So he's no different than you or me, because we've all been in the situations as men, women, whoever. We've all been in a situation where, say, if we like somebody, it's something hard for us to do, because a lot of people, they fear rejection. A lot of people don't want to, you know what I'm saying, risk throwing away a friendship with somebody just for the sake of expressing that they may like that person. And who knows, sometimes those people like you back, sometimes those people don't like you back, but you don't want to risk that relationship. So we all have been phase one Bear, you know what I'm saying? So with this thing that I want to do, I'm not sure if this is going to be like a permanent series that I'm going to do with this movie, other movies. It depends, because I like talking about movies. But it depends, like if this may be something I do, maybe I don't do. But I broke Bear down into three arcs, right? Like, I was in the work thinking about this shit. I broke it down, put it in my notes. I broke Bear, the character, down into three arcs, right? So in the beginning, like I said, he was this guy that you have sympathy for. He lives alone. He's shy, he's timid, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't seem to have the most confidence, and then the movie gets you to build sympathy for him instantly off rip, because his cat dies, and you can see that he doesn't have much. You know what I'm saying? You know that his nana dies, and yeah, exactly. So the movie does a good job at getting you to build that sympathy rapport for the character who is Bear, just simply by the fact that you see how he lives. You see that he seems to be constantly losing stuff. Like, he lost his grandma. He doesn't seem to have or a strong relationship with his parents. And then the only thing that he could remotely take care of, the only thing that meant something to him, I think the cat meant something to him, but there's no way that your cat means something to you and the cat dies and the only thing you do is throw it in the trash. You know what I'm saying? You gotta bury it. You gotta do something. Right? You would think that you would do something other than just scooping it up off the floor, cleaning up the mess, and then throwing it in the trash. But they show him crying about it on the bed, to the point he feels so bad that he doesn't even want to go out to trivia night, but it takes Nikki to get him there. But yes, so that's the beginning arc. The beginning arc, Bear refuses to tell Nikki. Oh, wait. I just jumped the gun. So I'm telling y'all how the movie gets you to sympathize with him and understand his character and feel bad for him in a sense of, okay, this guy is your typical modern day low confidence loser. So boom. So let's get to the beginning arc, right? The key point. Bear refuses to tell Nikki how he feels when pressured. Instead, out of desperation, out of satire, he makes a wish with the willow. You know what I'm saying? With the willow that he was meant to give to her. I got a theory on that, but that's not what this video is for. If you want to learn that theory, you can comment it and I'll tell y'all in the comments or whatever. Or maybe I'll even make another video about that. The theory about the one wish willow and what he should have did with it, the purpose of it, the reason why he bought it. But yeah, so in that moment in the beginning arc, right, we don't hate Bear. We understand Bear. We feel sad for Bear. We sympathize with Bear because he literally has the chance to tell the girl how he feels. You know what I'm saying? Nikki literally, like, she set the ball up on the tee. All he had to do was swing. But because his confidence is so low as a person, he's not even able to, you know what I'm saying, when the elephant in the room is present, you're unable to still voice how you feel. So in that moment right there, I believe that's arc number 1, where he's still this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? We don't hate him. We understand him and we feel sad for him. This is a sorry individual. We feel bad for this guy. And then in that moment where he makes a wish out of desperation, 100% not knowing that shit would work. Like who in their right mind would? Let's put ourselves in his shoes. If you were to go out right now and buy something right now, you don't really believe in that stuff, and you was to do something like that out of desperation, out of satire, out of like, Jesus Christ, like I literally had the chance to tell her and I can't even tell her, man. If this person could love, I wish this person loved me more than anybody in the world. I wish I could say that to you, but I can't. So I'm gonna say it to the stick and I'm gonna snap it. And then that's when, you know what I'm saying, obviously us as the viewers, we see the shift, the change. You know what I'm saying? We see it. We instantly know what it is. Does the character know? No. This point, Bear is still, I don't even like saying good guy back. Like, he's still a character that you sympathize with. He's still a character that you're attempting to understand. Bada bang, bada boom. We know at that point, Nikki start being weird. He doesn't automatically know why, but he knows that she's being weird. He knows that they were drinking. He knows that drugs may be involved, whatever. Boom, bop, bang. That's not why we're talking about Bear here. I don't really want to dive into the story, because if you don't know the story, you need to take your ass to the theater and watch the movie. There's no reason why I seen it twice and you never seen it once. Know the story. So boom. All right, let's go to the middle arc. He finally accepts the truth of Wish Nikki at the restaurant. So if you know the restaurant scene and you know he gets that phone call from Ian, then Ian tells him that Nikki has been lying about her dad. Her dad doesn't really have cancer. She's acting strange. She's telling lies. She's just obviously doing things and saying things to get Bear. But the whole point is doing all that was just to go home with Bear. So at that point, she's telling lies. She's being strange. She has these sporadic feelings. She just flipped on a dime. She's a whole different person, and all of a sudden, the jar are in love. This is not normal. This is not natural. Ian is trying to tell him this. So at that point, Bear realizes, like, okay, that fucking one wish willow is real. And then, but when he even sits at the table, he said, "Do you love me? He's like, how much do you love me, or whatever? Do you love me more than anything in the world?" He literally recites the wish, and she says yes. And then he tries to confront her. So, does your dad really have cancer? And she goes into the no scene. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we get there. But at that point, you know what I'm saying? He knows that that's not Nikki. That this is not natural. That I made a wish, and that wish is real. And this is, you know what I'm saying, this is bad. And literally, after that restaurant scene, it proceeds to showing them being intimate. But it's not them being intimate. It's him and Wish Nikki, you know what I'm saying, having intercourse where he's not even looking at her. Like it's almost as if, like, I don't know if y'all are sexually active, but if when you have missionary with your partner, you're looking at them in the face more of the time. Like, you want to see if they're enjoying it as much as you're enjoying it. But him, he's just like, he, in his mind, he and her are enjoying it, but in reality, it's just him. He's not even acknowledging the body. Like, you can see Nikki's facial expressions. She's just like a, if a living corpse could be a thing, that's what she looks like. So at that point, I believe that's when he's starting to cross over into that unredeemable void where it's just like, brother, you kind of know what you're doing, and you're not trying to come to a solution to fix the problem. You're not trying to get to the bottom of, okay, I did this thing, and I know I may be enjoying the perks of it. I know it may be something that I so, like I was saying, at that point, obviously I consider that the middle arc where he's no longer just this and not all of this. He's like in between. He's in a gray area. His character knowingly did something. And maybe the way that I put it is just like, maybe he wasn't so pressed to go get help for Nikki, because, and ultimately, who would believe him? How would he explain it to somebody? Because at the end of the movie, I don't want to, like, man, well, this is not a spoiler thing, like I said, but we can jump to the end of the movie where he was trying to even explain it to Ian. Like, after everything that happened, he's in a panic. He's, all right, I need to tell somebody. So he goes and tells Ian, and Ian is just like this, like, he's not taking him serious. Like, you mean to tell me that Nikki's been doing all of this all along because you had this fucking stick and you broke it and you made a wish and now she's acting like this? That doesn't sound real. That doesn't sound logical, until he ultimately does it for himself and he sees and finds out that it's real. I have $1 million. Bang. You know what I'm saying? That's how he ultimately becomes a believer. So I'm thinking in that middle arc where, you know what I'm saying, he is sleeping with Wish Nikki, and it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's not real to her. It's not a real concept. It's not a real connection. It's just him having his way, or him having his way with something that he thought that he wanted all along. In that middle gray area, that's where he's a combination of the guy that you sympathize with and the guy that you're starting to realize, okay, this guy is taking advantage. He's not really a nice guy. He's a wolf in sheep's clothes. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's becoming. So then we jump from that middle arc to the ending arc, where if you don't already hate him by the middle arc because he had intercourse with Wish Nikki, and you know that scene, most people already, they hate this guy. They wish the worst for him at that point. But if you don't already hate him then, you definitely hate him at the ending arc. The ending arc. Real Nikki pleads for death, but Bear refuses to acknowledge her truth/pain after she painfully expresses that she's never been with Bear. You know what I'm saying? So if you are, like I said, I'm assuming we all seen the movie. If you're familiar with that scene, he's literally about to go out and meet Sarah at the park at, I believe it was 2 a.m, and Wish Nikki is asleep. But throughout the movie, I feel like the real Nikki, you know what I'm saying, she's put up such a fight that she's starting to break through the barrier of that control. You know what I'm saying? That control aspect of the move, like, not the movie, the control aspect of Bear's wish of love, being like just loving him and more than anything in the world. She's starting to break through that barrier, and she's starting to be able to control herself at some point. She may not be strong, but she's able to talk to this nigga while she's asleep, while her host is asleep. So in that moment that she's talking to him, she was like, please kill, like, she's literally like, I would rather be dead than watch my life through the idea that you have of me. I would rather be dead. I would rather not exist than be with you. So when he's hearing this, that you're begging me to kill you, he asks a nonsensical question that just shows his selfishness, that shows his entitlement, that shows that it was never ultimately about wanting love with Nikki. He just wanted Nikki. it may not even be about Nikki. He just wanted something. He wanted somebody. And she just so happened to be that somebody, because over the course of their years, over the course of them growing up, that was all that he knew. That was all that he, in terms of receptive kindness, in terms of receptive love, in terms of somebody showing him a feeling. Because I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Everybody say, oh, Sarah must have not been showing it, because if a girl likes you and she's constantly showing it, then you would already know. You know what I'm saying? So this I believe that Sarah started crushing on him recently, but his feelings with Nikki, like you said, they since he moved there as a kid or whatever, and she was nice to him and she gave him the mouthpiece in the class, like that story from when he was in the car, they've already had this rapport, and I believe that they genuinely had this like connection. Like, have you ever had a friend or like a friend of the opposite sex or same sex, whatever you know what I'm saying, whatever your shit is. You ever had a friend that you know that you have some sort of chemistry with, but you would never cross that bridge because there's a chance that you might ruin the entire connection? I know I have. I know there's a lot of people that have had that. So I believe that's where Nikki had him in her life, where it's like, I know Bear likes me. We have moments where we seem compatible, but we also have moments where I know we're not compatible. So I'd rather keep him in a friend zone. Like, a lot of people are just saying Nikki sees him as a brother. Nikki, the character who played him herself, they said her feelings remain ambiguous. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody knows. So it's up to the interpretation of the viewer to decide, okay, she likes him, okay, she doesn't like him. But the way that you can see it in the movie, the way that she even says to him in the car ride, if I like somebody, nobody knows. You don't say, like, in that context right there where they're literally talking about crushes, and you're not going to say that to somebody that you may not potentially have feelings for. I don't know if it's just me, but I think that you don't say that. But let's get back on topic, right? So we're at the ending arc. We're at here. At this point, he's full-fledged this guy. He's not this guy anymore. You know what I'm saying? That guy, he's 100% gone. He's now somebody who's 100% aware of his actions, 100% accountable for everything that happens after or up until this point. After this point, where literally Nikki is asking him to take her life, and he refuses to do so, and he hits her with the famous selfish lines, "What's so bad about being with me?" And then she says, "I was never with you." And you can tell that one hurt, because like throughout the montages, throughout all this time that passed, he doesn't see that, or he refuses to see that. He just sees the flesh that is Nikki. He just sees what he knows is Nikki, but deep down inside, even the Nikki that's talking to him in the bed while Wish Nikki's asleep is telling you, I've never been with you. So all these things that happened, it was never me. All these things that were said to you was never me. All the things that we done, I wasn't in control. I did not consent to none of this. And you can tell that hurt him, because he just didn't say nothing else after that. He just dipped, or at least that's where the scene cuts. But I just want to get into the thing where, like, I believe everybody is so quick to they're so quick to just hate Bear, and not, you got to understand the character. You got to understand what got him to this point. You know what I'm saying? I just wish more people understood the character of Bear, as opposed to just outright hating him for him doing the things that he did, or that led him to doing the things that he did. Understand the character, understand Bear. Like, I don't know how else to say it. But, and also another hot take, because I'm about to end the video here. I just wanted to touch on that. I wanted to elaborate, and I wanted to explain my thoughts of how we got here. Like that beginning arc where he's this guy 100%, the middle arc where he's hovering between the two, and then that ending arc where he's just full-fledged this guy, and at that point he's unredeemable. You can't save this guy. He knows what he's doing. He's fucked. But I want to say, the girl that played Nikki, Indy, I don't want to butcher her last name because I see a lot of people doing it, but the girl that played Nikki, Indy, she was a phenomenal character that like she portrayed everything that you would want to portray in a person who's literally fighting themselves, like two things in one being, fighting for control and fighting to live up to something that's not even physically possible. She portrayed that perfectly. But I believe Bear's character, like Nikki, is great. She was amazing. But the guy that played Bear, to be able to pull it's like a game of tug of war. Like that's why I believe they mesh so well as characters, because both characters are like, I don't know, they bring out the best in each other. So I wish that more people give him credit as well, because he did a phenomenal job at portraying ultimately a loser who couldn't do it on the strength of his own. So he leaned on a supernatural force, whether he knew it to be true or not. You know what I'm saying? Both actors deserve credit. That's my thing. But I just wanted to touch on that, and I wanted to give some insight to how I seen the character Bear and how I understood him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you gotta agree. I'm not saying you gotta be a Bear sympathizer. I'm not saying he's the hero. I'm not saying he's the anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, make your decision how you want to make your decision. But I want to just say that, see the characters for what they are and for what they did, and understand, or at least try to understand, and then make your judgment. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you have any ideas, if you have any thoughts, leave them in the comment. We out of here. Deuces.